All right, welcome to the Explainer. You know, by now, in 2025, artificial intelligence, it's not just hype anymore, right? It's everywhere. It's woven deep into our world, and it's acting as both this incredible tool for creation and a really disruptive force. So today, we're going to try to understand this double-edged sword.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is AI our greatest tool, or is it our biggest threat? The thing is, and what we're going to unpack, is that the answer isn't simple. It's not one or the other. It's looking more and more like it's both at the exact same time.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the absolute explosion of AI applications. I mean, the stuff we're seeing right now. Then we'll get into the tough part, the great AI reckoning, the consequences and all the ethical questions. From there, we'll explore a more positive angle, a new kind of partnership between humans and AI. And finally, we'll peek over the horizon, beyond 2025, to see what the next frontier looks like. All right, first up, the AI revolution. And it kind of feels like it just happened overnight, doesn't it? But this technology is completely reshaping whole industries with a speed and power that's just, well, it's unprecedented.
So, what's the engine behind all this? It's generative AI, of course. And the real breakthrough here, the game changer, wasn't just about analyzing data. It was about creating stuff from it. It learns from these massive data sets and can then spit out totally new, original content. We're talking everything from art to software code, all from just a simple prompt. That leap from just analyzing things to actually creating them, that changed absolutely everything. And even though it feels so sudden, this boom has actually been building for more than a decade. I mean, it really kicked off with early breakthroughs like GANs back in 2014, which, let us create realistic images for the first time. Then you add the transformer architecture. GPT-1 came out in 2018. But the real explosion, that was 2022. When ChatGPT and DALL-E went public, everything just took off. And that's what brings us to today, where AI is it's deeply plugged into pretty much every part of our economy.
Yeah, and this isn't just happening in some small niche corner of the world. No way. This transformation is hitting major core sectors all at the same time. I mean, think about it. You've got personalized medicine popping up in healthcare, instant fraud detection in finance, and, of course, automated content creation is turning the creative industries upside down. It's this incredibly broad impact that makes this moment, it's what makes it so different from anything we've seen before. Let's just zoom in on healthcare for a second, because this is where you can see how profound the changes are. We're talking about AI algorithms that can analyze a patient's DNA to create personalized treatments. They're spotting cancer in medical scans with an accuracy that can surpass the human eye. They're speeding up drug discovery like crazy. Seriously, this isn't sci-fi anymore. This is a full-blown revolution in patient care, and it's happening right now. But, like with any revolution, there are consequences. And that means it's time to look at the other edge of that sword. This is the great AI reckoning. The part where we have to face the really serious challenges that come with this tech. And this quote here from Fran Drescher, back during the Hollywood strikes in 2023, wow, it just perfectly captures that fear, doesn't it? For a lot of people, AI isn't just some cool new tool. It feels like a direct threat, not just to their jobs, but to the very value of human creativity itself. And this really highlights the central conflict, the big economic dilemma. On one hand, you have the promise, right? That AI will automate all the boring, repetitive tasks and free us humans up for more strategic, more creative work. But on the other hand, there's the fear of mass job displacement. And it's not just some far-off fear. It's real. We're already seeing it happen, with reports of illustrators, writers, and other creative professionals losing gigs. And it goes way beyond just the job market. The ethical concerns here run really deep. For starters, AI models can soak up and even amplify the racial and gender biases that are already in their training data. Then you've got the rise of deepfakes, which, it's making it harder and harder to tell what's real and what's fake. On top of that, there are huge copyright battles playing out in court right now. And maybe scariest of all, cybercriminals are already building their own malicious AIs, things like WormGPT, specifically to help them run scams. So as you'd expect, this whole reckoning has kicked off a global race to regulate AI, to write the rules of the road. But here's the problem. Nobody can agree on what those rules should be. You've got the European Union taking this really comprehensive human rights-based approach with their Big AI Act. Meanwhile, the United States is doing, well, it's more of a patchwork, with sector-specific guidelines and voluntary agreements. And then you have China, which is going a completely different route, with these top-down state-led rules that are all about control and making sure AI aligns with their socialist core values.
Okay, so even with all that regulatory chaos, there is a consensus starting to form around a few core principles. It seems like experts agree that if we're ever going to trust this stuff, any ethical AI needs to have three key things. First, transparency. We have to be able to understand how it's making its decisions. Second, fairness. The systems have to be audited to check for and get rid of bias. And third, accountability. Someone has to be responsible when these systems mess up and cause harm. It's that simple.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, it brings us to a possible path forward. Maybe the future isn't a battle, humans versus machines. Maybe it's about a new kind of partnership, a synthesis of human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
And if you think about it that way, it totally shifts the conversation. Instead of just focusing on automation that replaces people, the goal becomes augmentation, using AI to make us better, to enhance our own skills. The aim becomes collaboration, not making humans obsolete.
So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, think of an artist using AI to brainstorm 100 different visual ideas in an hour. Or a doctor using it to get a quick second opinion on a really complex diagnosis. Or a software developer who can write and debug code twice as fast with an AI assistant like Copilot. In every single one of these cases, the AI is like a copilot. It handles the tedious grunt work, which frees up the human to focus on what we do best: high-level strategy, real creativity, and critical thinking. But this whole idea of a human-AI partnership, that's really just the beginning. When we start to look beyond 2025, we are getting close to the next big frontier. And that comes with, well, it comes with the ultimate question about the future of intelligence itself. To really get what's coming next, we need to understand the difference between the AI we have right now, which is called narrow AI, and the thing that researchers are racing towards, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. See, today's narrow AI is a specialist. It's amazing at one specific task, like playing chess or generating an image. AGI, that's the holy grail. It's a hypothetical AI that would have human-like cognitive abilities. It could understand, learn, and apply its knowledge to pretty much anything, just like a person can.
And this idea of AGI, it's not just some technical puzzle for scientists to solve. It's a massive societal challenge. And the public is definitely paying attention. I mean, look at the numbers. Surveys are showing that something like 2/3 of people believe AGI could be a huge risk if it's not regulated properly. That really points to this deep, widespread anxiety we all have about building something that, we might not be able to control.
And that brings us to our final parting thought. For decades, we've been obsessed with one thing: building machines that can learn. But maybe the question we really need to ask ourselves now is, are we prepared to learn from them? And I'm not just talking about learning about efficiency or data. I'm talking about learning about ourselves, about our values, and about our own place in a world that we're going to have to share with a completely new kind of intelligence. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.